Alrighty.
Ever felt like this with your car's infotainment? Then you're not alone. Sometimes the tech that's supposed to make driving easier ends up making you want to rip it out in frustration. From laggy screens that freeze right when you need them most, to bizarre controls that make no sense at all, some infotainment systems are so bad they can turn your dream car into a daily nightmare. And today, we're counting down 13 of the worst infotainment systems in modern cars. But before we dive in, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Number 13, 2022 to 2024 Volkswagen Atlas Infotainment. Kicking off the list is the Volkswagen Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport, especially the 2022 to 2024 models. At first glance, the cabin looks sharp and modern, but once you start using the infotainment system, frustration sets in fast. Volkswagen decided to replace nearly every physical control, including the volume knob and climate control buttons, with touch-sensitive sliders built into the screen. And here's the kicker, they're not even backlit. That means at night, you're basically guessing where to tap while driving. One owner summed it up best, cool party trick, but not great while driving. Others have reported the system glitching or freezing, sometimes even showing static lines across the screen that require a hard reset. Imagine paying $50,000 for an SUV and you have to reboot your infotainment like it's a 2002 laptop. The backlash has been so strong that Volkswagen actually admitted they made a mistake and promised that physical buttons are coming back in future models. But for the 2022 to 2024 Atlas, the damage is already done. Consumer Reports even cited the bad infotainment system as one of the primary reasons for the Atlas' low owner satisfaction scores. Number 12, GMC Infotainment. Now let's talk about GMC. You'd expect a truck built for toughness to also deliver reliability in its tech, right? Well, not exactly. Owners of the Sierra 1500 and even newer GMC models have been battling infotainment gremlins for years. We're talking screens freezing mid-drive, Bluetooth cutting out randomly, and GPS systems that love sending you the wrong way. Imagine heading to a job site and your navigation just decides to give up halfway there. Not exactly confidence-inspiring. And the frustration doesn't stop there. Some drivers report that the system gets stuck on a black screen or randomly reboots itself. Others complain about audio glitches where the sound just cuts out for no reason. Worst of all, there have even been reports of battery drain issues tied to the infotainment software. That means your truck might not start because the touchscreen wanted to have a midnight snack on your battery. It's the kind of tech problem that takes a solid, dependable truck and makes it feel cheap and unfinished. Number 11, 2016 to 2020 Toyota Entune. Toyota might be known for legendary reliability, but when it comes to infotainment, the Entune system has been anything but bulletproof. Drivers have called Entune outdated, clunky, and frustratingly limited, especially in older versions where Android Auto wasn't even supported. That meant if you were an Android user, your brand new Toyota still felt like it was stuck in the flip phone era. And then there's the companion app. To put it lightly, it was buggy and constantly required updates just to function properly. Many owners complained that apps wouldn't load, connections would fail, and sometimes the whole system would just give up for the day. Not exactly what you expect when you're trying to get directions or stream music. Even the interface itself felt behind the times. Menus were buried in confusing layers, graphics looked dated compared to rivals, and basic usability suffered because Toyota refused to update the tech for far too long. Sure, Toyota eventually fixed some of these issues in newer models, but for years, Entune was a daily reminder that while your Camry, Tacoma, or 4Runner might last forever, your patience with its infotainment system definitely wouldn't. Number 10. Jaguar, Range Rover InControl, and Pivi Pro. Luxury cars are supposed to make you feel like royalty. Smooth rides, plush interiors, and tech that just works. But owners of the 2017 to 2020 Jaguar F-Pace and the Range Rover Velar discovered that their infotainment systems were more like a budget tablet than a luxury command center. Jaguar's in-control system, and later Pivi Pro in some versions, became infamous for being slow, glitchy, and unreliable. Drivers reported screens freezing mid-drive, navigation that would lag or crash without warning, and an interface that already felt outdated the day you bought the car. And then there's the removal of physical controls. Jaguar and Land Rover stripped out useful knobs and buttons for things like climate control and audio volume, forcing drivers to dig through touchscreen menus just to adjust the basics. Imagine spending $60,000 to $80,000 on an SUV, only to wrestle with the same kind of lag you'd expect from a bargain bin tablet. The result? Many owners described the system as a $50 tablet experience in a luxury vehicle. And when a brand prides itself on refinement, clunky tech like this ruins the entire premium vibe. Number 9, 2016 to 2021 Kia UVO Infotainment. Kia has built its reputation on value-packed cars that punch above their weight. But when it comes to infotainment, the UVO system hasn't always lived up to that promise. Take the 2021 Kia Forte or the 2016 Kia Sorento as examples. On the surface, the touchscreen looks modern enough, but once you start digging around, you realize just how frustrating it can be. Basic tasks that should be simple, like pairing your phone with Bluetooth or setting up navigation, are buried under confusing menus. Instead of being intuitive, the system makes you tap through multiple screens for things that should be one touch. And then there's the radio system. Some owners complained that their radio presets would mysteriously move around, forcing them to reprogram stations over and over again. Add in clunky integrated navigation that feels years behind competitors, and you start to wonder if anyone at Kia actually tested the system before shipping it. Number 8. Mini Operating System. Mini is known for quirky styling and fun-to-drive cars. But when it comes to infotainment, that same quirkiness turned into a major headache. From 2014 to 2020 in the Mini Cooper and 2017 to 2020 in the Countryman, drivers were stuck with an infotainment system that revolved around a big circular display in the center console. On paper, it looked unique. In practice, it made everyday driving frustrating. The problem is simple. Most apps and interfaces are designed for rectangular screens. Mini's round housing distorted layouts, leaving wasted space and odd formatting issues. That meant things like Apple CarPlay didn't always display properly, and simple menus looked cluttered and cramped. Worse, Mini tried to cram too many functions onto this one screen. Navigation, media, vehicle info, even speed readouts in some trims, all lived in the same place. With constant lag and delayed inputs, switching between them felt clunky and distracting. Owners often said it was style over substance. Sure, it looked playful, but when you're just trying to follow directions or change a song, the novelty wore off fast. Before we move on to the next SUV, if you're getting any value whatsoever, please take a second to hit the thumbs up. Number 7, 2014 to 2019 Infiniti InTouch. Infiniti tried to stand out in the luxury segment by offering something different, a dual-screen infotainment system. The idea sounded futuristic, 2 stacked touchscreens that could handle different functions at the same time. In reality, it turned into double the confusion and double the complaints. Owners of models like the 2014 to 2019 Infiniti Q50, Q60, and the QX80 quickly realized the layout wasn't intuitive at all. Instead of feeling advanced, it felt like the car was forcing you to split your attention across 2 mediocre screens. The top screen often handled navigation, while the bottom screen was for audio or climate. But here's the catch. They didn't always work smoothly together. Lag, freezing, and even random blackouts plagued the system. And the graphics? Outdated the day it launched, looking more like a 2005 smartphone than a modern luxury car. One frustrated owner put it bluntly, "The system is slow, it crashes, the maps look ancient, and sometimes I drive in silence because it refuses to connect to my phone." Number 6, 2020 to 2023 Mercedes-Benz MBUX. Mercedes-Benz is known for blending luxury with cutting-edge tech. But with the MBUX system in models like the 2020 to 2023 E-Class, GLB Class, and GLC Class, the brand went a little too far in the wrong direction. On paper, MBUX is loaded, crisp displays, customizable themes, and advanced voice control. The problem isn't what it can do, it's how you have to use it. Instead of intuitive knobs and buttons, Mercedes introduced capacitive touch controls on the steering wheel and glossy fingerprint-prone screens for everything else. And those capacitive buttons, they're infamous. Drivers constantly complained about accidental touches. Brushing the steering wheel while driving could change your music, skip navigation steps, or even adjust settings you didn't mean to touch. What was meant to feel futuristic ended up feeling fumbly and distracting. One owner summed it up perfectly. "I love the car, but I hate that I can't rest my thumb on the wheel without accidentally changing something." Another pointed out, "No volume knob in a $60,000 car is ridiculous. Sometimes simple really is better." Number 5, 2017 to 2019 Volvo Sensus. 2017 to 2019 Volvo S90 V90. Volvo's interiors are praised for clean Scandinavian design, simple, elegant, and minimalistic. But behind that sleek design, the Sensus infotainment system left a lot of owners frustrated, especially in the 2017 to 2019 Volvo S90 and V90. The big vertical screen looked futuristic when it first launched, but the experience didn't live up to the looks. Drivers constantly reported laggy performance, random freezes, and slow touch response that made everyday use a chore. And then there's the voice control. Instead of making life easier, it became a running joke among owners. Simple commands like setting navigation often resulted in errors, misinterpretations, or the dreaded command not recognized. One Volvo driver summed it up. "The screen looks beautiful until you actually try to use it. Every trip, I end up tapping 3 or 4 times just to get it to respond." Another added, "It feels like the software was always one step behind me." Number 4, 2010 to 2015 Lexus Remote Touch, 2010 to 2015 Lexus RX, and other models. Lexus builds cars known for comfort, refinement, and bulletproof reliability. But in the 2010 to 2015 Lexus RX and several other models from that era, owners were introduced to one of the strangest and most frustrating infotainment systems ever: Remote Touch. Instead of giving you a responsive touchscreen or even a simple rotary knob, Lexus equipped these cars with a joystick-style controller. Think of it like a computer mouse on your center console. The idea sounded innovative, but the execution, not so much. On a smooth road, it was already oversensitive, making it easy to overshoot the icon you actually wanted. But on a bumpy road, forget it. Trying to land the cursor on the right menu item felt less like using a luxury car and more like playing a frustrating arcade game. Owners didn't hold back in their reviews. One driver said, "Every time I use the joystick, I feel like I'm fighting it instead of driving." Number 3, 2019 to 2021 Acura True Touchpad Interface. Acura tried something bold with their True Touchpad interface, starting with the 2019 to 2021 RDX. The idea? A clever trackpad-style controller that mapped directly to the screen. Touch a spot on the pad, and it selects the matching spot on the display. Sounds futuristic, right? In theory, this avoids smudging the screen and keeps your eyes on the road. Wired even applauded it as a promising solution to minimize distraction. But, as often happens with tech firsts, what looked neat on paper quickly showed cracks in practice. Many owners hit the learning curve, and then some. One Reddit user bluntly put it, "It doesn't integrate with CarPlay, which is very important. Those are borderline unusable without taking your eyes off the road." Number 2, 2016 to 2022 Subaru Starlink. Subaru has earned a loyal fan base thanks to safety, all-wheel drive capability, and reliability. But their Starlink infotainment system, especially between 2016 and 2022, has been one of the most heavily criticized in the industry. Take the 2016 to 2022 Outback, or the 2020 to 2022 Legacy. Owners reported constant freezing screens, slow responses, and random reboots. Some even had the entire display go black mid-drive, taking navigation, music, and even backup camera functions with it. The problems didn't stop there. In models like the 2016 WRX, 2018 Crosstrek, 2017 to 2018 Impreza, and 2018 BRZ, Bluetooth connections would drop randomly. CarPlay often froze, and the touchscreen sometimes delaminated, leaving an ugly bubble effect across the display. One owner of a 2021 Outback put it like this: "My infotainment center was hopeless. Lag, lockup, and hard crashes that would take the whole system out." Another driver with a Crosstrek vented, "The screen freezes the most when using CarPlay. It'll just go blank and only comes back if I shut off the car and let it sit." Subaru did release software updates, and dealers offered resets or replacements, but the reality is clear. For years, Starlink was a daily frustration across multiple models. Number 1, 2011 to 2014 Ford My Ford Touch Sync 2. When people talk about the worst infotainment systems ever made, one name always comes up: Ford's My Ford Touch, also known as Sync 2. Found in vehicles like the 2011 to 2014 Ford Explorer, the 2011 to 2013 F-150, and the 2011 to 2013 Ford Fiesta, this system quickly went from a bold idea to a nightmare for owners. On paper, it looked great: a big touchscreen with modern graphics, voice commands, and smartphone connectivity. But in real life, it was plagued with unresponsiveness, frequent crashes, inaccurate GPS directions, and painfully slow performance. Sometimes it would freeze completely, forcing drivers to pull over and reboot their cars just to get basic functions back. Phone connectivity was another disaster. Bluetooth calls would randomly drop, music streaming failed half the time, and trying to sync contact could feel like a full-time job. One frustrated owner described it like this: "Every drive turned into a gamble. Would the screen work today or lock up again?" Another said, "It's so slow, I'd press a button and count to 3 before anything happened." The backlash was massive. So massive, in fact, that Ford faced lawsuits, plummeting owner satisfaction scores, and eventually had to redesign the entire system for future models. My Ford Touch wasn't just a disappointment, it became a cautionary tale for the entire auto industry. So there you have it, 13 systems that turned driving into a tech nightmare. Which one do you think was the absolute worst? Or maybe you've experienced one that should have made the list. Drop your stories in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-world car breakdowns.